Okay, so I ended up remembering my vision. I think that God just wanted me to admit that people were trying to make me forget my visions, because I did forget with him waking me up and, doing what he was doing. And I think God just wanted me to admit what it was that they were doing, to try to make me forget my visions that I have. And right after I admitted what he was doing, while I was asleep, that's when it started to come back to me. Okay, Lord, help me, Jesus. So I remember being in this house and in the vision, and there was a black man who had came into the house, a young black man. He looked like this boy I know named Big Boy. And he looked like one of these boys I know named Bryce, like kind of similar to how they look, dark skinned, kind of like not chubby, but just a little, got some thickness about him. And he was tall, and he was a dark skinned brother. It wasn't Big Boy, it wasn't Bryce, but he kind of looked familiar, like these guys that I know. And so in the vision, he came inside of the house that I was in. So I was in somebody else's house. And he had came in and tried to lock the door. And when he tried to lock the door, like, I hurried up and went to the door because he had seen one of the videos that I had put on YouTube. And it was telling and exposing everybody. I don't know exactly which video it was, but he had left a comment under the video. But he was trying to make it seem like he was trying to show me some support, but it was kind of off about the comment. And then so he showed up to this house that I was in, and he was somebody's cousin. And he came inside of the house, and he was like something, and then there was the comments that he left on one of my videos. And then he tried to lock the door and lock me in the house with him, and nobody was there. And it was somebody else's house, like supposedly his cousin. And then so I hurried up and unlocked the door and ran out of the house. But before I ran out of the house, I remember all of a sudden my baby daddy appeared in a bedroom with this light-skinned black girl, like very high yellow. And it was a twin bunk bed. Like, how you got one bunk at the top and one bunk at the bottom. And my baby daddy was on the bottom bunk with this light-skinned girl, real high yellow. And they was in bed together, and there was 2 guns in the bed with them. And my baby daddy had a gun. And so there was another black man that had came in the room with them or something, and he had a gun too. And then so they had appeared like right before I was running out of the house. And I ran out of the house, and the young black man tried to lock me in the house, and I unlocked the door and got out. And then when I got outside the house, the young black man was trying to pretend like he wasn't trying to do nothing to me in the house. And I was like, yes, you were. You was going to try to hurt my baby in your house. And then so, or in that house, that's why I ran. And then he was trying to get me to go back in the house with him. And I was like, no, like, I'm not going back in the house with you, because you were trying to hurt my baby. You was finna try to hurt my baby. Like, you could tell by the way he locked the door that he was finna do something to me in the house. And then so he was trying to get me to not get out of the house when I unlocked the door to run out. And I knew, like, in my heart, he was trying to do something to the baby. And then so I had ran, and the light-skinned girl that was in the bed with my baby daddy, she was trying to pretend like she cared about me, like she knew my story, that he was abusing me. And like all of a sudden she was trying to stand up for me all of a sudden, but I was like, no, you was not. I was like, if you was really trying to stand up for me, then why was you in bed with him? So I went back in the house and I called her out. I was like, if you really was trying to stand up for me, then why was you in bed with my baby daddy? And then something about I should have took one of them guns when I had the chance to protect myself, because in the vision they were still trying to kill me in the vision as well. So then I ended up like going to this house, and there was a whole bunch of people inside of the house, and it was like a upstairs, a downstairs. It was like an apartment or some sort of building or house. And when I went inside the house, there was supposed to be like food. Like there was a box like this, and it was orange, but it was like protein bars, and someone had given them to me. But then when I looked inside the box, it was cigarettes inside the box. Like they had given me a whole box of cigarettes, and there was something different about the cigarettes. And then they gave me another box of cigarettes in the vision, and there was a black box of cigarettes and an orange box of cigarettes. And people was asking me for cigarettes, and I wasn't really smoking them. And then so when I went outside, because they was going on a trip, it was like some sort of trip. People like coming from different places, like to come to where I was at. And then I was trying to get away, and I was taking trips too, going back and forth. So it was like a whole big old house full of people that really wasn't even from there. Like we all taking trips and coming back and forth and leaving, and it was just a lot of nonsense. And there was this white man that was in the midst of it all, an old white man, and he was the one trying to deceive me to smoke the cigarettes the most. He was the one trying to deceive me the most in the house. And then it was kind of like the Holy Spirit was telling me, like, yeah, he know about the cigarettes, but he knows that that's not, that he was showing me like that wasn't the biggest thing that he was focused on, like not to even worry about it. But then I had took the cigarettes and went outside, and I wasn't smoking them outside. And then I went back into the house, and I had a cigarette, but I wasn't smoking it in the house. And then it was like a fragrance was going everywhere I went. There was a fragrance, like I wasn't spraying anything, but it was like I was spreading a fragrance all around the home that was coming from my aura. And then one of the black ladies that they had trying to set me up to deceive me, she was looking. And then I had ran outside, and she saw me outside, and she was in the house. And she said, I think I know what's going on with Andrea Jones. She was like, like she just needs somewhere to stay. And something about me having a high position. And that's what I remember.